Hi friends, welcome to the course Oracle 19C Multitenant DBA. Oracle Multitenant Architecture was introduced in Oracle 12C, and we will be covering Oracle 19C Multitenant Database Administration. My name is Subrata Sarkar. I have around 20 years of experience in working in Oracle technologies like Oracle DBA, DataGuard, RAC, Golden Gate, Multitenant, and database, and WebLogic, and so on. I will be your instructor for this course. So first let's talk about the syllabus, what we will be covering in this course. We'll cover installing Oracle Linux 7.8 in Oracle VirtualBox, installing Oracle Database 19C software in the Linux environment, creating CDB and non-CDB databases, creating PDBs from seed, performing basic CDB administration tasks, creating a PDB by cloning from local and remote PDBs, creating a PDB from non-CDB, creating PDB by relocating a PDB, creating proxy PDB, creating refreshable PDB, connectivity and services in Oracle Multitenant, managing common and local users, managing PDB lockdown profiles, backup and recovery in CDB and PDBs, flashback and point-in-time recovery, using resource manager with CDB and PDBs, implementing miscellaneous topics, using data pump utility with PDBs, managing applications and application containers, performing application maintenance tasks. So this is pretty much the syllabus that we are going to cover. And the software required for this course is Oracle Linux 7.8, Oracle Database 19C, Oracle VirtualBox, PuTTY, WinSCP, SQL Developer. So I will show you how to download Oracle Linux 7.8. So if you go to Google and if you write download Oracle Linux 7.8 ISO, you will come to this link. Then in the software delivery cloud, you have to go to the software delivery cloud. Here you need to sign in. If you don't have a user, you can create a new user, register here and create your user ID and password to log into the site. I already have a user ID password, so I will sign in. So it will ask for your PIN. The PIN will come on your mobile device. So you have to provide the PIN. And click on login. So after login, here we will just type Oracle Linux. Select Oracle Linux. So it will list down all the versions. We will be installing Oracle Linux 7.8. So we'll select this. So it will go to our card. So we can click on continue. So this is, you have to select the version x86 64-bit. And click on continue. Then a license agreement will come, which we will have to accept the license agreement. and click on continue. So here you can see all the different ISOs are there. So basically if we need this ISO, so just select this one and click on download. Once you click on download, it will be downloaded on your local machine. I have already downloaded the software, so this is the software that I have downloaded. So I will be using this in the lab in the next tutorial. So that's about Oracle Linux. Next is Oracle software, Oracle database software, Oracle database 19C download for Linux. If you go to this site, then this is RPM, but this is a zip file, so we have to download this zip file. So if you click here, it will download the zip file. I have already downloaded that, and this is the zip file I have downloaded from the website. So you can use this this Oracle software we will be using in our lab. So that's about downloading the software. Next, let's talk about Oracle Multitenant Architecture. As I have said, Oracle Multitenant Architecture has been introduced in 12C, version 12C of the database. Oracle Multitenant Architecture has been introduced. So, Oracle announced the general availability of Oracle Database 12C on June 25, 2013. Oracle Database 12C introduces a new multi-tenant architecture that makes it easy to deploy and manage database clouds. Oracle 12C provides private and public cloud deployments for users. So these are the different versions of Oracle 12C, Standard Edition, Edition 1, Standard Edition and Enterprise Edition. We will be using Enterprise Edition in our practice tutorial, and these are the different database options that are available. So when we talk about pluggable database means a database that can be plugged into the root container. The root container or the CDB is the container database on which the pluggable database are plugged in. So as you can see, we have the CDB. CDB is the root container which will have all the SGA, PGA and background processes are running on the CDB, on a single CDB. And then there will be different pluggable database like sales PDB, HR PDB. This will contain the application data, the user data, like for sales application or HR application, it will contain the application data. The CDB or the root will not contain the application data, it will contain the Oracle metadata and very few user data. Then we also have a seed PDB, which by default comes with every CDB. Seed PDB is used to create the other PDBs. It's a template with which we can create other PDBs. And of course, this is the logical structure. As you can see, we can have PDB administrator for sales PDB, PDB administrator for HR PDB, and then we can have a CDB administrator who manages the whole CDB. This is on the logical side. On the physical side, we of course have data files, control files, online log files, archive log file, flashback log files. Then in CDB view, all of the objects in the CDB and across all PDBs are accessible. DBA views all objects in a CDB or a PDB. All views objects accessible by the current users, user view objects owned by the current user. Container ID 0 is a whole CDB, container ID 1 is a CDB dollar root, and container ID 2 is PDB dollar root, and then all other IDs starting from 3 user created are user created PDBs. The pluggable database architecture can currently support up to 252 PDBs in a single CDB database. This figure is the initial figure in 12.1 release. Now it is more than 1000. More than 1000 PDBs can be connected to a CDB. You can utilize database links between PDBs and non-CDB databases. Database cloud and consolidation architecture. We have the virtual machine. We have multiple DB instances. And then now we have new multi-tenant 12C multi-tenant architecture where we have a CDB and multiple pluggable databases. The need for database consolidation. Why? Customers have hundreds or thousands of databases across their enterprise. They want to lower the cost by operating these databases on a centrally managed platform. With only hardware consolidation, each database has an overhead that prevents hundreds of databases from being placed on the same physical server. So, as a solution, database consolidation requirement: no change to application, no performance degradation, centralized resource management, simplify patching and upgrades. So to keep all this in mind, we have this multi-tenant architecture. Each database requires memory, process and database files. Memory and processes are required at container level only. So at container level only, we need the memory and the processes. Resource management. In the PDB, we can do resource management. Like for example, some PDBs can be set to low priority, some can medium priority, and some can be put in high priority. So resource management, efficient resource management. Then backup the database as one and recover at pluggable database level. So only a single backup is sufficient, and then you can recover the pluggable database at a pluggable database level. Manage many databases as one standby database covers all pluggable database. So in a data guard architecture, one physical standby database can cover all pluggable databases. Simplified patching. Apply changes once, all pluggable databases are upgraded. So if you upgrade the CDB, all the pluggable databases are also upgraded. So simplified patching, simplified upgrades, flexible choice and patching when upgrading databases. Fast, flexible copy and snapshot of pluggable databases. Creating databases for test and development. It is very easy to just copy and snapshot of pluggable databases is very easy. So benefits of multi-tenant architecture: reduce total cost of ownership, TCO, administrative cost, operational cost, data center cost, storage cost. Improved resource utilization, manageability, service management. So as a conclusion, a new option of Oracle Database 12C, Oracle Multitenant helps customer reduce IT costs by simplifying consolidation, provisioning, upgrades and more. So that is about pluggable database. Now we will move on to pluggable database architecture. 19C pluggable database architecture. Multitenant configuration, a CDB consists of 0, 1 or more PDBs. You need to license the Oracle Multitenant option. Single tenant configuration doesn't require the licensed multi-tenant option. So in this diagram, as you can see, there is a root container and there are pluggable database which contains the application data. There is a seat PDB and there are user PDBs which are connected to the root. CDB type of containers. Oracle supplied container is called the root container, CDB $root, and consists of just Oracle metadata and maybe a little bit of user data and common users. Each CDB has one root. The seed container named PDB $seed, there is one of these per CDB. The purpose of the seed container isn't to store user data. It is there for you as a template to create user PDBs. The user containers, which are actually called a pluggable database, consist of user metadata and user data. Background process, common entities between CDB and PDBs, background processes. There is a single set of background processes for the CDB. The PDBs don't have any background process attached to them. Redo log files, these are common for entire CDB, with Oracle annotating the redo data with the identity of a specific PDB associated with the change. There is one active redo log for a single instance CDB and one active online redo log for each instance of Oracle RACs CDB. A CDB also has a single set of archive redo log files. Memory, you can allocate memory only to the CDB because that's the only instance you need in a multi-tenant database. Control files, these are common for the entire CDB and will contain information that reflects the changes in each PDB. Oracle metadata, all Oracle supplied packages and related objects are shared. Temporary table space, there is a common temporary table space for the entire CDB, but both the root and all PDBs can use this temporary table space. This common table space acts as a default temp table space. In addition, each PDB can also have a separate temporary table space for its local users. Undo table space, all PDBs use the same undo table space. There is one active undo table space for a single instance CDB and one active undo table space for each instance of a Oracle RAC CDB. But starting with 12.2 version, you can have a local undo table space. And nowadays, that is the default way of creating PDBs, where we have local undo table space, undo management as local. Entities exclusive for PDBs, table spaces, and for the application tables and indexes. These application table spaces that you will create are specific to a PDB and aren't shared with other PDBs or the central CDB. The data files that are part of this table space constitute the primary physical difference between a CDB and non-CDB. Each data file is associated to a specific container. Local temporary table space. Although the temporary table space for the CDB is common to all containers, each PDB can also create and use its own temporary table space for its local users. Local users and local rules. Local users can connect only to the PDB where the users were created. A common user can connect to all the PDBs that are part of the CDB. Local metadata, the local metadata is specific to each application running in the PDB and therefore isn't shared with other PDBs. PDB resource manager plan, these plans allow resource management within specific PDB. There is a separate resource management at the CDB level. So you can see CDB and the PDB structure. So we have control file on online redo log file, undo table space, temporary table space, SP file, P file, system sysocs data table spaces, archive log file, flashback log file, all connected to the CDB. Whereas PDB will have system sysocs data temp and maybe undo in the local undo mode. So that is, friends, about multi-tenant architecture, what we mean by multi-tenant database. In the next lecture, we will start doing hands-on by installing. First, we will install Oracle Linux, then we will install Oracle .19c database on this Linux platform, and then we will start creating the CDB and non-CDB databases, and then forward we will create the PDBs in different types of ways and continue with the remaining lectures of this course. Thanks for watching. Bye.